There is one truth about men that almost no one likes to admit. When a man loses interest, it almost never happens overnight. It is not a sudden switch. It is a slow process that builds up in silence until the day you feel him colder, more distant, and less connected. And if you have ever felt that sting in your chest, wondering why a man who once looked at you with passion suddenly seems like he doesn't even notice you, then you need to stay until the very end of this video. Because today I will tell you about the only 3 reasons that truly make a man lose interest in a woman. These reasons are hard to hear, they are uncomfortable, but they are also the ones that explain almost every case of emotional disconnection you have ever lived or will ever live. Men are simpler than we think, but their silence is what makes everything more complicated. They don't usually sit down and explain what is happening inside their minds. They don't say, "Look, I'm losing interest because of this and that." Instead, they start showing small signals, delayed answers, less eye contact, a decrease in affection, and finally the feeling that you are forcing everything while he is just pulling away. And if you are a woman who gives her heart, it hurts even more, because you can't understand what you did wrong. That is why what I am going to reveal here today is so important. This is not about blaming yourself, it is about clarity. Because once you know exactly the 3 reasons that drain a man's interest, you can do 2 things. First, you can stop blaming yourself for things that are not your fault. And second, you can take back control of your relationships by recognizing patterns early, before the damage is too deep. I want you to think for a moment about the last time a man pulled away from you. Remember the confusion, the questions in your head. Was it something I said? Did I push too hard? Did he meet someone else? Most women live stuck in these doubts, never really understanding the truth. And that truth is that men don't lose interest randomly. They lose it for specific reasons that are deeply connected to their psychology. And here's the first wake-up call. If you don't know these reasons, you can repeat the same story over and over. You can end up in relationships where you always give more than you receive, where you invest your energy and emotions in someone who will inevitably detach. But once you finally learn these 3 reasons, everything changes. It's like a veil is lifted from your eyes. You start noticing the signs early. You stop chasing after someone who is emotionally checked out. You protect your energy. You gain respect. And let me tell you something straight. Men only fear losing a woman when she understands her own value. When you have clarity, you stop playing on his field and start making him play on yours. That is why this video is not only about understanding men, it is about taking back your power. So let me ask you this. Do you want to keep wasting time with men who pretend they are interested until they disappear? Or do you want to finally understand how their minds really work, so you can stop guessing and start leading with confidence? If your answer is yes, then you are in the right place. Because by the time we finish, you will know exactly the 3 reasons why men lose interest. And these reasons will open your eyes in a way you may have never imagined. Some will be painful to hear because they will remind you of past relationships where you suffered. Others will bring relief because you will realize that it was never about you not being enough, but about dynamics that you didn't know how to control. Stay with me because this knowledge is not just theory. It will give you the power to change the way you deal with men from today on. You will never again feel completely lost in the middle of a man's silence. You will know how to read him, how to act, and above all, how to protect yourself from the pain of unnecessary disappointment. So, if you're ready to face truths that may hurt but will set you free, take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's begin. Let me take you into a story that might feel very close to your own life. Imagine a woman named Sarah. She is smart, beautiful, caring, and full of life. When she first met Daniel, everything was magical. He looked at her as if she was the only person in the world. Every text he sent made her heart race. Every date felt like a new adventure. And she believed with all her soul that this time it was real. At the beginning, Daniel was attentive, affectionate, and present. He called her every night before bed. He made plans for the future, and he often said things like, "I can't believe how lucky I am to have found you." Sarah felt chosen, special, irreplaceable, and for a while, everything seemed perfect. But slowly, things started to shift. At first, it was subtle. He didn't reply to her messages as quickly as before. Then, he began to cancel plans at the last minute, always with an excuse that sounded reasonable, but left her with a strange feeling. Sarah tried to convince herself it was nothing. She told herself he was busy, stressed, tired. She didn't want to believe something was changing. Weeks passed and Daniel's distance became impossible to ignore. The good morning texts stopped. The long calls turned into short, distracted conversations. His laughter was no longer the same, his eyes didn't shine with the same intensity, and Sarah, who had once felt like the center of his world, now felt like an option, an afterthought. She tried harder. She sent sweet messages, planned special nights, reminded him of their happiest moments. But the more she gave, the less he seemed to care. It was as if every effort she made only pushed him further away. Until one day, Sarah realized she was the only one fighting. He was still there physically, but emotionally, he had already left. Now let me stop here and ask you, how many times have you been in Sarah's shoes? How many times have you felt that slow, painful shift when the man who once made you feel adored begins to fade away? Maybe his body is next to you, but his heart is no longer in the same place. This is the silent heartbreak that so many women live through. It's not always about betrayal or big fights. Sometimes the most painful ending is when there are no clear reasons, no final conversation, no dramatic closure, just the slow disappearance of interest, leaving you confused, doubting yourself, and asking questions that have no answers. And this confusion is exactly what hurts the most. Because Sarah, like so many women, thought, if he loved me before, why doesn't he love me now? What changed? She went back through every detail, analyzing each conversation, each gesture, trying to find the mistake. Was she too much? Was she not enough? Did she say something wrong? The truth is, Sarah's story is not unique. It's the story of millions of women around the world. Women who give everything, who love deeply, who believe in the connection, and then wake up one day feeling invisible in the eyes of the man they love. But here's the crucial point. Daniel didn't lose interest because Sarah wasn't good enough. He didn't pull away because she wasn't attractive, intelligent, or kind. He lost interest because of one of the three painful reasons we will explore in this video. And if Sarah had known them earlier, she would have recognized the signs. She would have seen the pattern before it broke her heart. You see, stories like Sarah and Daniel's happen because men and women experience connection differently. While women often invest their hearts fully from the beginning, men can be more gradual, more hesitant. And when something disrupts the flow of attraction or respect inside a man, his interest begins to leak away slowly, almost invisibly, until one day it feels like it has vanished. And that's why this story matters. Because behind every Sarah, there is a truth waiting to be uncovered. And once you understand the truth, you will never again sit in the dark, wondering why love slipped away. You will see clearly that men don't just fall out of love for no reason. They disconnect for causes that are concrete, causes that repeat themselves, causes that you can understand and even prevent. So as you think about Sarah's story, remember your own. Think about that man who once made you feel seen and then left you feeling invisible. Think about the nights you cried asking yourself why. And prepare yourself, because in the next part of this video, we will open the door to the real explanations. We will dive into the male psychology that no one ever tells you about. And once you hear it, you will never see relationships the same way again. Now it is time to remove the veil completely and face the three real reasons why men lose interest. These are not excuses. These are not random theories. These are deep psychological truths that drive male behavior. And once you understand them, you will start recognizing them everywhere. The first reason is loss of admiration. Men don't talk about this, but it defines everything for them. A man can love, desire, and even commit to a woman, but if he stops admiring her, something inside him begins to die. Admiration is not about beauty alone, although physical attraction plays its role. It is about how he perceives your value, your uniqueness, your strength, and your standards. When a man admires a woman, he looks at her with respect. He feels proud to be by her side. He feels like she elevates him. But when that admiration fades, so does his interest. And this can happen in two ways. Sometimes a woman gives up her own essence to please him, sacrificing her independence, her confidence, and her boundaries. She tries so hard to keep him that she ends up lowering herself, forgetting that what attracted him in the first place was her individuality and self-respect. Other times, the man himself loses the capacity to admire because he was never truly mature enough to appreciate a woman of value. In both cases, when admiration disappears, so does the emotional fire. The second reason is emotional disconnection. Men are not always skilled at expressing their feelings, but they feel deeply when connection is alive. And what fuels connection is consistency, shared experiences, real conversations, intimacy that goes beyond the physical. When a man feels that connection breaking, when he feels misunderstood, neglected, or unable to share his world with the woman he is with, his interest starts to fade. This does not happen in a single day. It happens when small cracks are ignored. The conversations become shallow. The affection becomes mechanical. The emotional bond that once made him eager to come closer now feels like a heavy weight. And here's the painful part. While a woman may try to fix things by giving more, he may retreat further because his heart is already losing its anchor. Emotional disconnection is silent but deadly. It is like oxygen slowly leaving a room, and one day you just can't breathe anymore. The third reason is lack of challenge. This one may sound strange, but it is deeply true. Men are wired to pursue. They need to feel that they are winning something of value, that the woman in their life is not a trophy they already own, but a person they must keep earning. When everything becomes too predictable, when he feels there is nothing left to discover, nothing left to fight for, he unconsciously begins to detach. It is not about playing games or making him insecure. It is about keeping your essence alive, continuing to grow, evolve, and surprise him with the depth of who you are. A woman who loses herself completely in the relationship, who makes her entire world revolve around him, unknowingly kills the very challenge that once made him chase her. Men need to feel like they could lose something valuable if they don't keep showing up. When that sense of challenge disappears, interest often follows. These three reasons, loss of admiration, emotional disconnection, and lack of challenge, are at the core of why men lose interest. They are painful to accept because they make us look beyond simple excuses like, "He got busy," or "He changed." They force us to face the reality that attraction and love require maintenance, respect, and balance. And most importantly, they remind us that a woman's power does not lie in giving endlessly, but in holding her own value firm. Think about how this plays out in real life. Maybe you know a friend who gave everything to her partner. She stopped seeing her friends, abandoned her hobbies, and made him the center of her existence. At first, he enjoyed the attention, but over time, something shifted. He didn't admire her anymore because she no longer had her own life. She became predictable, always available, always centered on him. He didn't feel the same pull because the challenge was gone. Or maybe you lived through the slow death of conversations when your partner stopped sharing his thoughts and feelings, and even though you tried to connect, he seemed far away, locked in his own silence. That is emotional disconnection. Now, here is the part that matters most. These reasons are not only explanations, they are also opportunities. Because if you know them, you can prevent them. If you see a man's admiration slipping, you can ask yourself, am I respecting myself, keeping my boundaries, nurturing my own life? If you feel the connection fading, you can choose to create moments that bring intimacy back, to open conversations that go deeper. If you notice things becoming too predictable, you can reignite your individuality, your passions, your energy, reminding him that you are not a prize he once won, but a woman he must always value. Understanding these truths is not about trying to control men. It is about controlling your own narrative. It is about never again being blindsided by the slow disappearance of interest. It is about recognizing that while you cannot force someone to stay, you can create the conditions where real respect, admiration, and desire thrive. So let these three reasons sink in, because they are not only the explanation for your past heartbreaks, they are also the map for your future strength. And once you carry this clarity, you will never again see the coldness of a man as a mystery. You will see it as a signal, a mirror of what is happening beneath the surface. And instead of feeling powerless, you will know exactly where you stand and what choices you must make. Now that you know the three painful reasons why men lose interest, you need to understand the urgency behind this knowledge, because knowing is not enough. If you don't act on this, you will keep repeating the same cycle, giving everything, losing yourself, watching him drift away, and ending up broken once again. And every time that cycle repeats, it doesn't just hurt your heart, it hurts your self-esteem, your trust, and your hope in love. Think about how much time women waste waiting for men who have already disconnected. Weeks, months, sometimes even years, holding on to the memory of who he was in the beginning instead of facing who he has become now. This is the trap, clinging to the image of the man who adored you, while ignoring the reality of the man who no longer fights for you. And every day that you wait, you lose more of yourself. Here is the harsh truth. When a man has lost admiration, when emotional disconnection has taken over, or when the challenge is gone, you cannot beg him back. Begging, chasing, or trying to prove your worth only accelerates the process. He doesn't return to interest because you lower yourself. He only returns if he sees again what made him value you in the first place. And this only happens when you protect your own essence, not when you sacrifice it. That's why there is urgency. Because the earlier you recognize these signs, the earlier you can decide how to act. If you catch it in time, you might rebuild the admiration, revive the connection, or reawaken the challenge. But if you ignore it, hoping things will magically fix themselves, you will wake up one day with nothing left but memories of how it used to be. And let's be clear, the consequences of not understanding these truths go far beyond one relationship. They shape your entire love life. A woman who doesn't know why men lose interest may start believing she is the problem. She may start doubting her beauty, her intelligence, her value. She may enter new relationships already insecure, already expecting abandonment, already afraid. And what happens? That fear creates the very dynamic that pushes men away again. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But when you know the truth, everything changes. You stop personalizing rejection. You stop thinking, maybe I wasn't enough. Instead, you start seeing the patterns for what they are. Signals of admiration fading, connection breaking, or challenge disappearing. And instead of clinging, you can choose. Either take steps to revive what is being lost, or walk away with your head high, protecting your dignity. Here is what you cannot forget. Every day you tolerate coldness, excuses, and half-hearted attention, you are training him to believe that he can give you less, and you will still stay. And the more you accept, the more he withdraws. That is why urgency is key, because the sooner you act, the less you have to lose. Think of it like a fire. At the first spark, you can put it out easily, but if you let it grow, soon it consumes everything, and no matter how much water you pour, it is too late. A man losing interest is exactly the same. When you notice the first signs, less communication, less affection, less effort, you must not ignore them. You must not wait for proof that he has really changed. You need to recognize the fire while it is still small. And here is the final consequence of ignoring this. You not only lose him, you lose yourself. Because every time you try to hold on to someone who is already gone emotionally, you sacrifice your own energy, your own joy, and your own self-respect. And that is the deepest wound of all. Not that he left, but that you abandoned yourself in the process. So take this as a wake-up call. Do not wait until you are begging for crumbs of attention. Do not wait until you are living in memories of the past instead of the reality of the present. Learn to see the signs early and have the courage to act, because your time, your energy, and your love are too valuable to waste on someone who has already stopped fighting for you. Now you understand the 3 reasons that truly make men lose interest. And as painful as they are to hear, they are also liberating. Because once you know them, you can never again be blind to the signs. You will no longer waste years of your life begging for love that is no longer there. You will no longer blame yourself for not being enough. Instead, you will see clearly what is happening and decide with strength what you deserve. Remember, the first reason is loss of admiration. A man cannot stay interested in a woman he no longer respects or admires. That is why you must always protect your standards, your individuality, and your essence. Never abandon yourself in the hope of keeping someone else. The second reason is emotional disconnection. Without intimacy, conversation, and real bonding, even the strongest passion fades. That is why you must never allow silence to replace connection. And the third reason is lack of challenge. Men need to feel that the woman by their side is someone they could lose if they stop showing up. That is why you must always keep growing, evolving, and shining in your own life. These 3 truths are not just about men, they are about you. About your ability to value yourself so much that you never settle for half-hearted love. About your courage to walk away from someone who no longer invests in you. About your wisdom to recognize that real love requires respect, connection, and effort. So here is my final message to you. Do not wait for him to wake up and realize your value. Do not waste your nights wondering what you did wrong. Instead, remind yourself of who you are. You are not an option, you are not a backup plan, and you are not a temporary distraction. You are a woman of value, and the right man will never stop admiring you, connecting with you, and fighting to keep you close. And if right now you are going through that painful moment when a man seems distant, let this video be your turning point. You don't need to beg, you don't need to chase, and you don't need to lower your standards. All you need to do is stand firm in your worth, and either he rises to meet it, or you let him go. Because the cost of staying with someone who has lost interest is always higher than the pain of letting go. Before you leave, I want to ask you something important. If this video opened your eyes, if you felt truth in every word, then make sure you don't stop here. There is so much more you need to understand about how men think, how they connect, and what truly keeps them invested. And I don't want you to go into your next relationship blind. That's why I've prepared something special for you. Check the link below this video because there you will find a complete guide that reveals step-by-step how to recognize the hidden patterns of male psychology. In it, you will learn how to protect yourself from emotional traps, how to keep a man's respect alive, and how to finally build the kind of love you deserve. Thousands of women have already transformed their relationships with this knowledge, and you can too. So don't just leave with curiosity, leave with power, because the more you learn, the less you suffer. The more you understand, the more you control your story. And the more you value yourself, the less likely you are to waste time on someone who doesn't know your worth. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with another woman who needs to hear these truths. Together, we can break the cycle of confusion and heartbreak. Together, we can build relationships where women no longer beg for love, but receive it naturally because they know their value. So, take this moment. Reflect on what you've heard. Look at your life, your relationships, and your patterns. And promise yourself this: you will never again lose yourself trying to keep the interest of a man who has already checked out. From today on, you choose clarity, respect, and strength, and that choice will change everything.